We're rolling.
All right, this is my statement on the sequel to East Side Zombies. I will read this brief statement and then take questions from you. It was my pleasure to be the writer and director of East Side Zombies, a film that was made as a community project for less than $5,000. The idea behind the project was not fully realized. We had intended to make a movie largely by and for the community and to include many actors and behind-the-scenes personnel who were on the autism spectrum or had other disabilities. Instead, my director, Chris Anino, went ahead and hired many of his friends to be in the movie, most of whom did not have disabilities. He actually replaced actors with disabilities and local community actors with people who had been involved in other movies or who were professional wrestlers. This was not the intention of the project. He also cut or rewrote many lines in the movie and added scenes that I felt did not contribute to the overall theme. So I have come here today to announce that we will be largely redoing the movie with an all-new acting corps, at least half of whom are people with disabilities. We will be reimagining the whole movie and making it into a feature film of about 90 minutes. We do have one well-known actor in this film, however. His name is Danny DeVito. Perhaps you've heard of him. He has kicked in $100,000 of his own money to make this project into something special. We will retain the same cinematographer and film editor, Frank Rybicki, and I will now direct the movie. We will be shooting in many locations locally, including the Lighthouse Inn, the Mystic Train Depot, and the New London City Jail. We also plan to shoots at the Nautilus Museum because one of our scenes involves zombies stealing a submarine. The budget for this movie is $1 million, and we are planning to get $900,000 in funding from the Addams Family Foundation, the same group that funded our first effort. If all goes well, we will be out with a movie this fall. Oh, one other thing. My friend Danny DeVito has got Paul McCartney of the Beatles to write us a theme song for the movie. I told him we wouldn't take a rewrite of Yellow Submarine. Okay, I can open it up for questions now. Anybody? Yes.
After your first edition and the way it went, did you immediately think I want to do a sequel?
Yeah, I actually started writing it immediately, but I felt a little dejected from the first movie, so it kind of took me a while to get going. But I finally decided to finish it and ran it by Danny, and he loved the script. Yes.
Is Danny DeVito 4'11"?
That's what I understand. He's definitely shorter than me. That's all I know.
What inspired you to make this movie, and if so, what triggered that into action?
Well, I have a son who's on the autism spectrum, and he's always, he's kind of a ham, and I thought he'd have a fun time doing a movie. And then I realized he has issues with learning, but he's also really good visually, like he remembers things really well visually. So that's got me thinking, like, to have folks on the autism spectrum who usually have really high visual ability, to get them involved in movie making, I thought would be a really good idea. So that's kind of how the whole thing evolved. And then Chris Anino actually suggested we do a zombie movie because he had done a couple in the past, and I thought that's kind of perfect because people with disabilities are often called zombies or worse, horrible things. And I thought, well, it would be a way for people to actually embrace zombie as a positive thing instead of a negative. So yeah.
What's your main goal?
My main goal with this movie is to do a really fine job, try to win an Academy Award, and have to do the best picture I can.
What inspired you to do this do this movie?
This particular movie, I think Danny DeVito, because he gave me the inspiration to write the script, and he loved the first movie, and he just told me that he wanted to see a sequel, and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. If he's willing to put in $100,000 of his own money, that sounds good to me. Yes.
So how did Danny DeVito came to you in the first place?
Well, I have a mutual friend who will remain anonymous, but he introduced us. We sat down actually at the Muddy Waters here in New London, and we had a little chat, and he, for some reason, just had stumbled into East Side Zombies movie at some point and decided that he wanted to do a movie for folks with disabilities. And he's a short guy, and he's always been picked up on when he was a kid, so he thought this was kind of a good project to be sort of an anti-bullying movie, really. trying to get people feeling good about themselves, and Danny thought that was a great project. Yes?
Do you plan on doing a speaking tour with some of your cast afterward to have them be more publicized and let them know that, let people in schools know that they're not the only ones who've been bullied?
Yeah, well, we're doing this with an all-new cast, so I don't even know who the cast is going to be at this point, but we're going to be putting out publicity, and we're going to be interviewing people and trying people out for different roles. And we'll be having a series of meetings in libraries where people will come and try to rehearse with us and try out for a role. And we'll be casting it within 3 weeks and hope to start shooting very soon. Okay? All right.